Okay, can you guys see it? Okay. Yeah. All right, wonderful. Okay, thank you so much for joining us at Womanly Toastmasters, and more information can be found on womanly.com, womanlytm.com. And we provide these bi-weekly theme-based meetings to help you with your public speaking, and a lot of weekly, quarterly blog posts and book selections to focus on empowerment, and a lot of exclusive workshop to hone in on your skill set. For us, our purpose is to provide a safe platform to practice public speaking and build future leaders, empower others, find our voice, and share ideas across cultures. Our mission is to empower people like you. And I want to thank this term of officers. The official term will end in June. And for those of you who may want to be our next term of officers, I just want to let you know that most of us are actually staying on for another term. But in case you want to become an officer, Sergeant of Arms for next term is currently available. Sergeant of Arms is a role to open meetings and lead many of our virtual games. This is one of our virtual games that we actually did last week, and many of us enjoy this game. For those who are here, you'll know what we were actually drawing. But for those who are not here, reach out to us and find out. So for our meeting agenda today, you may find that actually on our webpage. And let me also share it in the chat window here, just in case you haven't figured out how to navigate to it just yet. And in here, you will find the agenda actually listed at the bottom of the image there. All right. And for those of you who may be first time joining us, some of the roles may be new to you. You may click on this link that I share in the chat window to figure out what each roles mean. But of course, during this meeting, we will all introduce our functionary roles as well. And today's theme is Fortune 500 female CEOs. I always like to start with a quote, and here's one. Do what you love and success will follow. Passion is the fuel behind a successful career. And it's said by HPE CEO, sorry. And thank you. Now I'd like to turn to our Toastmasters of the evening.
Thank you, Renee. I'm very glad to welcome all of you to this meeting. Today, I want to share my screen, and we'll start from there. Hopefully, you can see my screen.
Yes.
So there is a common thread among all these women who are pictured here. The first one is Mary Barra. She's the CEO of GM. Lisa Su, CEO of AMD. Indra Nui, ex-CEO of PepsiCo. Sonia Sehgal, CEO of Gap. Safra Katz, CEO of Oracle. And Ursula Burns, Xerox CEO. And the list goes on. Today's theme is Fortune 500 female CEOs. Did you know that only 30 of these Fortune 500 companies have female CEOs? I think it says a lot. And women can manage multiple tasks together and balance their work life and their home life. I think we should capitalize on this ability of women to multitask and be a good manager. Let's work towards increasing that number. CEO, as you see here, as acronyms are very common, I went a bit deeper and tried to explain it here. The goal of a CEO is to drive the core values with energy inside the organization to produce operational excellence. So core values are vision, mission, objectives. Energy requires perseverance, passion, resilience, grit. And operation excellence will produce good strategy, good action plans, and good performance in the end. With that, I would like to welcome all the members here and urge them to step up in their roles and make this place a more welcome place for women. So I would like to call upon our leader profile of the day. And to provide that, we have Sai Lakshmi.
Yeah.
Okay. Take it away, Sai Lakshmi.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today's leader profile is about Indra Nooyi. Indra Nooyi is consistently ranked among the world's 100 most powerful women and also a couple of times on the Forbes list. And she is a former chairman and CEO of PepsiCo and currently serves on the boards of Amazon and International Cricket Council. About her early life. Born in a conservative middle-class family in India, Indra Nooyi's early life is very much similar to our common lives. Moving to her career, her passions include purpose, performance, and people. To elaborate more on her passions, purpose for her means to do what's right, and performance is tied to driving expectations, exceeding expectations, and people. For her, people means to help, her desire to help people succeed. These are her passions. Her leadership qualities also include communication, relationship building, and moral compass. Her strategic redirection and a lot of variety of initiatives have reclassified PepsiCo's products, including recycling, reducing waste, and shifting to renewable energy resources, and many more. She also stresses on having a work-life balance, giving back to society, being a kind person, but a tough leader. All these are the embedded qualities in Indra Nooyi's personality. There are a lot of things to learn from Indra Nooyi's profile and her leadership qualities. Not only for business, but Forbes also ranked Nooyi at a third spot among powerful moms list. And as part of fun facts, Nooyi loved to play cricket as her favorite sport, and she's also a member of all-girl rock band where she used to play the guitar. So she's a very diversified personality with a lot of passions and interests. Let us learn from Indra Nooyi and let's bring passion and purpose into our lives. I also have created a quick read PDF about Indra Nooyi, which has more interesting facts and her leadership styles embedded, which I'll be sharing over the chat. Please feel free to take a look, and I hope you all will like it. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Sai Lakshmi, for that inspirational leader profile. Next up, I would like to call upon the role bearers. We have the grammarian, who is Oiza. Can you explain your role?
Yes. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Okay. And thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the evening, my fellow Toastmasters, friends, and guests. My role as the grammarian today is to pay attention to good use of language and provide constructive feedback for improvements. At the end of the meeting, I will present my report. Before that, I would like to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is to help fellow members enrich your vocabulary in preparing your speeches. For this meeting, the word of the day is the word forgative, meaning capable of imagining or inventing, with synonyms such as inventive, creative, imaginative, productive. Here's an example of how you'd use the word. Nancy was quick and forgative in her responses to the host of the game show. Or, because he has a forgative spirit, the toy maker is able to come up with new designs over and over. You are encouraged to use the word of the day as frequently as you can in this meeting. I will be counting how often it is used by each speaker, and I will provide my report at the end of the meeting. Back to you, Madam Toastmasters of the evening.
Thank you, Oiza. That was a very detailed explanation of your role. Next up, we have the R counter by Karasa. Karasa there?
Yes.
Can you explain your role, Karasa? Okay, I think Karasa has some technical issues. I'll move on to the timer. Chimak, can you explain your role?
Yes. So I'm the timer. I'll be monitoring the time. Wait, is someone speaking as well? No. Okay. I'm the timer. I'll be monitoring the time, and I will look at the time of each speech that each speaker is giving, and at the end, I'll report the time for each speech. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Chimak. Next, we have the forgative section of our meeting. The first prepared speech is from Karen. I would like to invite her evaluator, Sujin, to give us an insight into Karen's speech. Sujin, can you explain what Karen is speaking about?
Yes, Karen's speech is for engaging humor pathway and evaluation of feedback speech number 2. So today, she will share that virtual presentations are here to stay. And as Toastmasters, it is our creed to master the platform. Lucky for us, Karen has been exploring ways to make virtual presentations more exciting. Today, she plans to take us on a tour behind the scenes with a couple of announcements for your presentation total. Back to you.
Thank you, Sujin. I welcome Karen. The title of Karen's speech is Beyond Zoom, a peek behind the next curtain. Karen. Beyond Zoom, a peek behind the next curtain. Karen.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let me record this. There we go. Do you remember when we first started Zooming long time ago, what, 16, 17 months ago? And you did your first PowerPoint presentation in Zoom? And it was then that you realized that the whole screen was occupied by your PowerPoint. And if you were lucky, you had a little tiny box over on the side that was your face that no one could see. No expressions, no hand gestures. It was just a little tiny box. We have come a long way since then. And even Zoom has come a long way. Have you been in the advanced tab of Zoom? I bet some of you haven't. I'm going to have a handout at the end of this, and it's going to talk to you about what you can do with that advanced tab in Zoom. So I want you to try that out. But I'm going beyond Zoom, and we're going beyond PowerPoint today. So I want to show you a couple of programs that are really slick, and I'm going to give you the insider's tour for these programs. So belt up, let's get ready to go, because this roller coaster is going to move fast. Now, you probably think that I'm in Zoom, don't you? You would be incorrect. I'm in And now I don't have to spell it to you because I can flash it right on the screen, and I don't have to spell it, and you even know what the logo looks like. But there's so much more you can do with this software. For example, you can set the stage for a very interesting discussion. I learned this from another Toastmaster, and she said, I laid in my bed and I began to think. Now, did you just go there? We have all laid in our bed and thought, you know, that was a great day. It was a horrible, it was something. But that visual took me right there. And you can take people there and set a whole mood. There are great other things you could do with this software. Oh, but I told you I was going to share the insider view. Let me share my screen. And now you are going to be seeing not just what I'm seeing, right? But you're also going to be seeing the controls on the screen. And you can see how easy it is. So in the bottom, you'll see my PowerPoint deck is down here. So you just load a regular PowerPoint deck into this program. But I have some slides like this one, and you can see that I'm in front of my slides. Now that's just not going to work. But you know what? You can just pick me up and move me over. Also, if you find out you're still too big and you can't see those slides, you can shrink yourself. You can disappear and you can come back. Oh, I hope I come back. Here I am. And you can move yourself, but I don't recommend being disembodied. People do not like it when you seem to be cut off in the middle. So kind of plant yourself somewhere in these presentations. I have a couple of slides in my presentations that I like to use. And one of them is this one. And I talk about the independent-minded people. And then I move on to this one, and I talk about the community-minded people. And what I want you to see is what these look like in the next presentation software, because it's very cool what you can do. Now, this software also has rooms, so I can pop myself into a room, turn my slides right off, and there we are. And let's say I'm in the middle of a piece of my presentation, and I want, maybe the only slide I'll present will be this quote. And I can make it bigger so people can read it. Because sometimes you have a really powerful quote, but it's long, and it helps if people can read along. And then I did a book presentation this week, finally, for the first time, about my new book. And this is one of the PowerPoint slides I presented. But I want you to see what it looks like in the next set of software, because it's a lot different. In fact, we're done here. Let's move on to the next set of software. Now I'm going to have to stop sharing, and I'm going to have to momentarily disappear from the screen, but don't worry, because I'm still here and you can still see me. And I am going to open up OBS. OBS is broadcasting software. And once it's open, I just switch my camera over, ta-da, and it looks like I'm in Zoom again, but I'm not. So here, I'm going to show you some of the same slides. Now here, I can show my hierarchy slide, but I can also go this group. It's this Silicon Valley professionals group that we're talking about. And I don't have issues with that virtual background that you saw in. So this is open broadcasting software called OBS, and this is what streamers use to annotate their streams. So they're showing their game. Sometimes they're showing how fast their fingers are moving, and then they're showing sponsors and all kinds of stuff. So it doesn't, it works differently than PowerPoint, but you can put up what looks like a PowerPoint slide. I showed you those other two slides I had, and now you see my independent-minded slide, and I can then go talk about the community-minded people. But then I can put both of them on the screen, and I can say the independent-minded people, and I can say the community-minded people, and you can point to it, but you're still here connected to your audience. There are also very cool things that you can do. I had the opportunity to talk to people about what it felt like to be at a conference. And so I found this really cool picture of myself. I cut a hole in it, and I stuck my head in it with the camera. And people said, wow, it really felt like I was at a conference, Karen, because we haven't done that in so long. My book slide turned quite a bit different. So now it's all these images that you can put on the screen, and you're no longer limited to these 4x3 slides. You can also do slides like this that are not 4x3. So this is a uniquely sized slide that you can use. One of the really cool things with this software is that you can use it to have conversations with people. So this is my husband, for those of you who don't know, and you can have conversations without even saying a word, okay? Sometimes that can be powerful. You can make snide remarks about your husband if you'd like, but you got to be really careful because he will make them back, okay? So, you know, all is fair in love and war, right? You can show videos as if bammo, no tricks, no pain. You can also do audio. And if you really want to jazz some stuff up and you're the Toastmaster for an open house meeting, you can run a ticker tape parade across the bottom of the screen and show whatever you'd like. Virtual presentations are here to stay, even if we do go back to work. I want you to go beyond Zoom and beyond PowerPoint. Now, the most effective communication is always between us and our audience directly, and you have to maintain that contact. To encourage you, I'm going to put a handout as soon as I'm done in the chat. It will take you through what you need to do to work in these different softwares, and you can decide which one you want to pick to try new. Okay, the Zoom Advanced is easy peasy, lemon squeezy, anybody can do it. Take these tips and enhance your presentations. Set the mood, put a pillow in, show data. Absolutely fabulous graphics, incorporate multimedia, facilitate dialogue. I cannot wait to see your next presentation. You know I'll be watching. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. I would now ask the timer to give us 1 minute to fill the evaluation for Karen.
Toastmaster, is it 1 minute or 2 minutes?
It's 1 minute.
Okay, it's already past 1 minute.
Thank you. Let's move on to the second speaker. Our second speaker today is Deepa, and her evaluator is Samantha. Samantha, do you want to give us some explanation about Deepa's speech? Samantha?
Thank you, Toastmaster. Today, Deepa will be giving her level 2, Understanding Your Leadership Style, for her dynamic leadership pathway. The purpose of this project is for Deepa to learn about the different communication styles and identify her primary style. The purpose of the speech is for her to share the impact of her style on others. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Samantha. Tuning your communication to the right frequency. Deepa. Deepa, tuning your communication to the right frequency.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Do you remember the time when you played the game telephone as a child? This is the way you would play typically. Your friends or the people you're playing with would either sit or stand in a circle, and the person who begins the game whispers something to the person next to him or her. The second person who heard the message passes it on to the next person, and the game continues where you continue passing the message. The game ends when the last person has heard the message and then says what he or she thinks the first person started. And when he says it, when he or she says it aloud, believe me, more often than not, it is nowhere close to what the first person said. The game is a lot of fun because of the communication gap or the miscommunication that happens and brings a lot of joy. The real problem is when this miscommunication happens in real life. The real problem happens when the frequency with which the speaker is talking to the listener, when the frequencies don't match. As I was going through what it takes to be a good communicator as part of my dynamic leadership, I came across this project where it talked about the different communication styles, and it emphasizes the importance of needing to be able to talk or communicate or deliver a speech so that your listeners can digest it. Communication styles. Okay, what are these now? So there are 4 communication styles. The first one is supportive, where essentially the listeners or the communicator needs plenty of assurance and encouragement to express ideas. The other day I had gone to the school to pick up my kids from school, and I asked my older one, "So, how was your day at school?" "Good." "What did you learn today?" "Nothing." End of conversation. And that's when I realized perhaps the supportive style of communication, where I'm encouraging him to open up about his day, might help. So I changed my words. "So, what was the most fun part of school today, Guhan?" "Oh, Mom, I did, this and that. And oh, really? I see. And what was the most boring part?" "Science." So you see how knowing your communicator, the person you're communicating with, helps in them opening up. The second communication style is analytical. So such communicators rely completely on facts and figures. They want their information in an organized manner. A few months back, when I was new to product management, I had my first exec review. I went and started telling a story about why we need to invest in a particular domain. And needless to say, it was a long, drawn out story before I could actually reach the facts. And by then, my management had checked out because I realized now that they were analytical. What I needed to do was chop, 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 present my data and back it up. So that's second, analytical. Third is initiating. Such communicators, they like interaction. They like sharing stories. And so typically, if you see in a room where you're new, when you do not know everybody else, leave some room for sharing stories. And the final communication style is direct. They are completely motivated by results and tasks. I had a peer. All he wanted to do was to be to the point and succinct. "Don't give me stories. I'm not an initiating communicator." He was a direct communicator. So one way to remember these 4 communication styles, if you will, is by the acronym SAID. SAID. Supportive, analytical, initiating, and direct. There, I said it. I hope that our games of miscommunication remain in the world of the game of telephone and do not manifest themselves in real life, and our frequencies always match. Thank you.
Thank you, Deepa. Let's take 1 minute to provide feedback to Deepa. The evaluation form links are in the chat.
Priya, we can also use the previous one, right?
Yeah. It's the same thing. I just wanted to put it back because the chat was so long, so I didn't want people to miss.
Thank you.
Thank you, Timer. Our next speaker is Jojo, and I would like to invite Renee to provide an overview of Jojo's talk.
Jojo's speech title is Understand Cat Sonalities. The speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and she's working on her Pathway Dynamic Leadership Level 1, Searching and Reporting. Last October, there was a cat family, a cat mother with 4 kittens, moving under the shed in my backyard. Since it's during the pandemic, my husband and I decided to take care of the family before they move somewhere else. I'm a dog person and never thought that one day I will have a chance of raising cats. Here is where I started my journey learning cats' behaviors and cat sonalities. For those of us who have cats, I'm sure it's very relatable. I personally do have one as well. His name is Biscuit. I can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. Understanding Cat Sonalities by Jojo. Jojo, understand cat sonalities.
Guess how much I know about cats? Nothing. The truth is I'm a dog person. I'm close enough to be a trainer and have zero interest in cats. However, last October, there was a twist happening in my boring work from home life. As usual, I woke up in the morning, enjoy my coffee on my patio. Suddenly, I look further, I find the furry animals in my backyard. What? That's a cat family. Well, I decided to quit them. The reason was very funny. Being a single mom with 4 naughty kids is definitely not easy, especially during pandemic, right? When I told my husband the reason, he laughed and smiled. No, honey, you must know that why mother cats are actually very strong and independent. Really? I have no idea. Okay, so I decided to conduct my research. Traditionally, cats are not considered as social species. Unlike dogs have a stable relationship in their society, cats require a solitary lifestyle and don't share their territory with other cats. Anyhow, around the 1970s, scientists observed that the feral colony, which refer to an area only specifically for mother cats, consists of individual cats that share food together and accommodate other cats in the same place. This prevailing theory indicates that cats' attraction to food was more substantial to the instinct of fighting each other. Scientists also find that cats have a social structure, including complex matriarchal hierarchy, which is well known as a female-centric system. In feral colonies, female cats are bound closely and then together when birthing, act as a midwife to support each other, nurse and raise each other's kids collaboratively. The mother cats, which also been called queens, even joins forces to drive off intruders and threats to the economy, including fighting over tomcats that try to kill their kittens. No wonder why mother cats are strong and independent. They're just like a Wonder Woman trying to protect the country. My husband and I decided decided only to provide food to cats to keep their natural personalities without human intervention, simply because we consider one day those kittens will go back to their nature environment. They need to learn the survival skills from the mother. Till now, we have been forced to those cats for 8 months. The mother cat, we named her Veronica, taught kittens all necessary skills, including climbing up to the shade to do the civilian watch, hunting the bird and squirrel in our backyard for food, She also taught them how to fight when the neighboring cats step into their territory, which is our backyard. Veronica left Kitten in the 3rd month. Later on, Kitten left the territory each by each to find their own territory, except one cat still stayed with us. We named her Vanessa. From this beautiful encounter, I also learned 2 things I misunderstood before that I want to share with you. First thing is meowing. Do you know actually cats don't meow naturally? That's right. According anthropologist John Bradshaw in his book Cat Sense, cats meows only communicates to humans, not with other animals. Part of his evidence was that wild cats do not meow as much as house cats. Additionally, the meow sound is actually a manipulative behavior that cats adopt to get what they want from humans. The theory actually matched my first interaction with Veronica. I remember I meowed her for sending a greeting. Then she looked me back and gave me the query eyes. I thought in her mind she must be thinking that what a stupid humans. We don't meow naturally, okay? The second thing is rubbing. Most people think rubbing is an affectionate behavior from cats. The real reason for rubbing is actually a little bit complex. Cats rub against things or human to mark their territory. When they rub their cheek at something, they actually release pheromones. Those pheromones are actually the marker of their territory. Rubbing is also a representation of a defined hierarchy. One very interesting theory is the more your cats rub you, the more they respect you. Close to the end to my speech, I want to share a video about Veronica. As I mentioned earlier, Veronica actually don't meow earlier when we just met. And after 2 months, I see what happened.
Can you share the sound as well?
Oh, yeah, sure. But I don't know how I can get the stop sharing. Okay, so I think at the end of to the end of the speech, I think Veronica can also nominated for the Fortune 500 female CEO. As Priya mentioned earlier, an important attribute of the 500 female CEO is they all multitasking. So I really do feel that Veronica is a multitasking mother cat as well. Thank you very much. Thank you for hearing my speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Jojo. I guess women are better than cats. So I'll stick to the female CEOs. Can we take a minute to give feedback to Jojo? Thank you, Timer. Our final speech of the day is an interesting icebreaker that is going to be done by Lakshmi Nathan. Lakshmi Nathan is working as a senior technical manager at Kaiser Permanente and also possesses an MBA and MS in IT technology from University of San Francisco. She had completed advanced communicator pathway in 2014. She took a break and she is joining Toastmasters again. And we are so glad that you joined our club, Lakshmi. A big shout out to you. And I hope you have a wonderful journey here. And we are excited to hear your icebreaker. I would like to call upon Lakshmi, and the topic of her speech is, do I believe in fate or do I have complete control over my actions? Lakshmi, do I believe in fate or do I have complete control over my actions? Lakshmi.
Okay. So do you guys hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm a housewife. My name is Lakshmi Nathan. That was my dream and still my dream. It's going to be my dream. Fellow Toastmasters and my friends, today I'm here to share my story, but I will share some of my experience as well. Then we will come back to the title, do I believe in fate or I have completely control over my actions? As a kid, I was so carefree and happy, no worries. And I always don't like to play with the toys or anything, but rather I just sit and watch my grandma and my mom cooking. So that was me, so much passion about cooking and kitchen, etc. So then eventually at the same time, I have a twin brother. He always wanted to become a doctor. So then that period phase is over. We all went to the high school. I told my dad, I want to go and study the culinary school, become a chef. My dad was a physician. He said, no, I want you to go to the school and have a proper degree. I said, okay, let me do that. So I went and I did my degree in biology and biostatistics. On the other side, my brother went into the medicine, twin brother, elder brother into the computer science, my sister into the gynecologist. So I belong to a family of doctors, but my mind always cooking and kitchen. Then the next phase came to my life, the marriage. So I was so excited. Okay, I'm going to US, going to be a great homemaker, nothing else. So I came to US and my husband is such a sweet guy. He said, whatever you want, you do it. So within the 3 months, I realized cooking in US is not fun. You need to do cleaning and do the grocery shopping. No. I said, okay, I am bored. He used to travel a lot. So one day I said, okay, let me look for job opportunities. But fortunately, I don't know, fortunate or unfortunate, I got a job offer from Kaiser based on my background as a data consultant. So I joined there. But still, I keep on thinking about this cooking thing. So then I told my husband, I wanted to go to culinary school at USF. And he said, really? Okay, life is an opportunity for you to learn, go and learn. So on the way, I saw the USF college. It's a beautiful college. Then I asked my husband, can I go and take my MS in IT technology? He said, whatever you want, you do it. So then I finished that one, an MBA. Then in fact, I did my artificial intelligence from Kellogg University. Even I chose my project as the cooking. So my classmates always made fun out of me. Lakshmi, we don't understand what you are doing and what you are talking, that you want to be a chef, you want to be a housewife. So here I am. I got my promotion as a senior manager, but still my mind is towards cooking. What can I do something different? And on the other side, I am trying to learn different things. So then last week, I just sat down, I was trying to write this icebreaker speech. So one thing struck to me, as a kid, I remember my dad said, life is an opportunity to learn. Then after marriage, my husband also told the same word. And at the same time, some people are telling, hey, everything is based on your fate. And few are telling, no, you can control your life. So, but I decided myself, I don't want to analyze whether do I believe in fate or do I have a complete control over my life? I don't want to waste my time thinking in that. Rather, I decided myself, okay, whatever comes. See, two people in my life told me that life is an opportunity to learn. So just if the opportunity comes to you, just take it and do it from your full heart and don't hesitate. So then I realized, okay, I know what I wanted to do. Though I have so many things, still I act like a kid, but I'm not a kid. Hey, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do this, but I want to become a chef. So I decided myself, I know what's my strength and my weakness, but still my strength is I pick an opportunity and I make sure that I use that opportunity. So then I'm completely happy. So that's why I said I don't believe in fate or I don't have a control. I don't have a complete control over my life. So I'm not sure, maybe you can go home and you can think about it. And if you want, you can share it with me later on. Okay. And thanks again.
Thank you, Lakshmi. We learned a lot about your interests, and that has set us in a formative mood to go into our next section of our meeting, which is table topics. But before that, let's take a minute to provide comments to Lakshmi. Thank you, Timer. Our next section is the table topic section, and I'm sure this will be an interesting one, given the theme today. So I call upon Sarah to conduct the table topics. Sarah.
Okay, so table topics is our chance to practice impromptu speaking. So basically, I'm going to give a prompt, and you should all listen carefully. And if anything comes to mind, you can volunteer to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. And the goal for you as a speaker is to practice giving an organized as you can speech within 1 to 2 minutes. So for the first question, the Fortune 500 is an annual list of the 500 most profitable US companies. These are considered the most admirable, the most successful companies. Regardless of profit, what company do you most admire? And why do you consider them successful? I'll also put the question in the chat. So think about it. And if you have something that you'd like to talk about, you can volunteer. If no one volunteers, then I will pick somebody. Any takers? How about Raji?
Did you mean Raji?
Yeah, Raji.
Okay, me. Okay. It's me, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Right. So I very much admire Amazon a lot because I feel that it is the most customer obsession oriented company. And Amazon mostly focuses on leadership qualities, which I like the most, which I want to have, where my passion is inclined mostly towards. And apart from that, the policies or the functioning of Amazon company also, it looks very interesting to me. One thing that I can talk about as an example is in all our companies, we do kind of presentations, or we have a meeting where we talk about what do we want to go for the next quarter, or which product or which feature are we mostly interested in. And when we are trying to present what we like, we mostly set things in a way that people get attracted to it with the presentations and they get biased. But in Amazon, how they do is they write a business memo. It's just a business memo, no presentation, no attractions. They all have it in a very quantifiable data with what the customer wants, why they want it, and what will be the impact and business impacts like ROI and etc. So all this memo will be shared to everyone in the meeting. They just go through the memo and then they'll talk about it. So they kind of overcome the bias is what I feel. So, and this is one of the things that I mostly like about. And apart from this, there can be a lot more things and the list goes on. So I would like to conclude here saying that Amazon is my most admirable, what I admire the most is Amazon. Thank you.
Thank you, Raji. I think it sounds like you really know what goes on at Amazon. All right. So for the second question, Fortune 500 CEOs are leaders of large corporations that employ hundreds of thousands of people. What sort of skills does it take to be a leader of a large corporation? Would it require skills that are different than those required of a small business leader? I'll also put the question in the chat. Take a moment to think. Does anyone want to volunteer?
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Awesome.
I think the great leader should develop the envision future for all employees. And then also the envision feature can across a different division and also actionable to support, to lift all the division leader to achieve, to excel themselves. I remember I read the book, probably you also, it's a very well-known quote, that's from Jim Collins, From Good to Great. In his book, he actually mentioned that there is a great leader should set out the envision future, and also develop the unique culture, corporate cultures and values across a company. So that's why I admire a lot. So when I look at those top 500, no matter it's a large corporation or a small business, the most important thing I can think about is, does this company have an envision future? What's the vision this owner or this leader do have across a different division? So I really feel that a great leader can move a company from good to great. That must be a very important thing they usually have is they already foresee the future for this company. They set out a great vision, and this vision is shared by each employee, and those employees support this vision. Thank you.
Thank you, Jojo. I agree. I think leaders have to be forward thinkers and thinking of the future always. All right, third question. We celebrate female CEOs and leaders because there are different obstacles for women that do not exist for men. Some of these barriers are actually self-created due to internalized discrimination. No matter your gender identity, what are some obstacles that you have observed or experienced? Are any of these obstacles self-created? I'll put this in the chat. Does anyone want to volunteer? If not, I will call on Chimak.
Let me see if I can time myself.
You thought you were
Actually, I want to pass. Sorry.
okay. That's fine.
Next.
How about Bhavna? Bhavna, our guest.
Yes. So this is my first time. I'll try. I will see how it goes. So I think as a regardless of gender, I think some of the obstacles are self-created and some are because of the work around us. From my experiences, I think I'm sorry, I think I need some time to think through this. I can't do it. Can you just give it to somebody else?
I can give it a try.
Okay, sure.
So, of course, there are many obstacles that as a leader, many of us face. Some of them are, of course, self-created. Self-created in the sense, one, we don't have experience to handle some kind of scenarios. We lack capabilities, sometimes negotiating. Third, we lack understanding the problem or the pain point of the other person with whom we are dealing. If we overcome all these obstacles or we learn different things, for example, negotiation, handling the situation in a better way, and many other resources are of course available online, probably we can overcome all of those self-created obstacles in our leadership roles.
Nice. Are you finished?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm finished. Sorry.
Just want to
Over
make
to you, table topics master. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, definitely. A lot of it is also situational. So it's hard to just generalize. It depends on both people or all the people in the situation. All right, so the next question. Fortune magazine ranks the world's most powerful women in business. One criterion is the size and importance of her business in the global economy. Can you describe the importance of your industry and your work in the larger economy?
Let me take this one.
Sure.
So I work for a Fortune 500 company. Well, I work for IBM, and I've been with IBM for about maybe 18 years now. You know, IBM is a technology company, that produces products across the board from, we started off with laptops to servers, storage, network. And also we've actually grown that now to have the supply chain business. And at some point, we actually got into IoT and now also healthcare with Watson. I don't know if you heard about the AI engine Watson that is used. It was used in a game show, the Jeopardy game show. Watson participated in a few years ago. But as far as the importance of the industry technology, I mean, it's everywhere, right? I mean, if you look at how far we've come, from what 50 years ago to where we are with the industrialization, for us to be able to, we're now more connected as a result of technology, right? Communication has also improved as a result of technological advancements. So as far as importance of the industry, it's hard to even describe it in words, right? We would not be here today having this Zoom meeting without technology. It's become the crux of a lot of products and solutions that we need for our basic living. So in my work in particular, I'm a product manager responsible for cyber resiliency and security on hybrid cloud storage products. And that is even greater now because with technology, we know the cyber attacks. It's not just disaster recovery or issues with your systems or servers going down. Now we hear it in the news every day that it's now attacking your data, right? Compromising your data. So that's another important piece of what I do. And I'm going to stop now. So.
That was great. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I realized after going to the Computer History Museum that IBM is really big. So that's awesome. Okay, next question. Another Fortune magazine criterion for a powerful businesswoman is the health and direction of her business. For instance, Mary Barra, the CEO of General Motors, is focusing on electric cars and partnered with Nikola, a rival of Tesla that now faces allegations of fraud. Have you observed a company or a leader headed in the right direction but make a bad decision? Or have you yourself done so? I'll put it in the chat.
That's a hard one, and I'm gonna take it.
Okay, go for it.
Sarah, today's questions are all so difficult. All right, let's see. A company could have very good intention, want to paint a picture, want to solve the most difficult problems, and potentially even saving humanity on a complete different level. However, for a company to be successful, it's extremely important to have the right timing, product, and team. To give some specific examples, not naming any names or any leaders in particular case, there are certain big data and analytics solutions that many of us that are in the tech industry are familiar with. However, if you were to consider deploying a solution that's related to data analytics 20 years ago or 30 years ago when data actually doesn't exist, that's a bad timing. Or from the product perspective, if you don't understand what the user really needs, but just think this is a very cool product and have not fully defined the problem and just built what's cool and think that maybe the users will come, that could be a very terrible product market fit. And with that, it may be very good intention, but ended up perform poorly because no users will use such a product. And lastly, from the team perspective, oftentimes as companies grow bigger, we like to work with people we are familiar with or we like. And with lack of diversity, oftentimes leaders are blindsided by potential market shift or not surrounded with people who have different opinions and ended up going into a market that they're not familiar with. In summary, I think there are many companies and leaders that are that have really good intention and leading the company into the right direction, however, end up making bad decisions because of the wrong team, the wrong product at the wrong time. So for those of us who are potentially in a leadership position or going into a position, continues to think hard about those 3 factors before making a decision is extremely important. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. Definitely, I think there requires some synchronicity between timing, product, and the team. Great answer. All right, next question. Another fortune criterion for powerful businesswomen is the arc of her career. For instance, Julie Sweet worked as one of the few women in a top-tier law firm, yet she still took an opportunity with Accenture and became CEO within 5 years. How would you describe the arc of your career? Did it shoot straight up? Did it ever waver or dip? I'll put it in the chat. Any takers?
I can take.
Awesome.
Okay, so like I said, so we all are women, right? So we keep on thinking, why don't we have to go to the bigger company and work for them? And we always doubt ourselves. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. Can we do that? Can I do that? Can I do that? Like I said, my passion is cooking. So, but at the same time, I keep on thinking myself, I should come up with some innovative technology ideas. So I don't have to have my own company. I can, so right now, you can sell your product or idea to the bigger company and you make some profit out of it, right? So it's easy to talk within ourselves, but we need to have strong commitment and we need to come, especially I'm talking for myself, we need to come out from our comfort zone. For example, I have idea, okay, my cooking is passion. So now I'm doing artificial intelligence. So I can combine this both two and make a sustainable product. I may not have enough money to start my company, but I can look for someone who is really interested to improve their business, right? So I can help them. So that's what, as a woman, we always have to have like strong commitment and confidence in us. So we can do it. We can start small things and make it as a big. Thank you.
Great, Lakshmi. I totally agree. Starting small and making your way to big is the way to go. That's sustainable. All right, that was our last question. So I'll turn it back to our Toastmaster, Priya.
Thank you, Table Topics Master Sarah. You really had us thinking, and I'm sure there were a lot of people in the meeting who were just praying that I should not be called, but we still made it. So we are into the evaluator section of the meeting. But before that, we have the poll. If you can mark the best speaker and the best table topic speaker, that'll help. I think it's only for the table topics. So the order was, first was Sai Lakshmi, second was Jojo, third is Kushbu, fourth was Renee, fifth was Lakshmi. Did I miss anyone else?
I think fourth is Oiza.
Oh, okay. Fourth was Oiza, fifth was Renee, and sixth was Lakshmi. Okay.
And the speaker one will come shortly after this. So thank you guys.
Okay, so we had only 6. So please do not mark anything beyond 6 in the poll.
Yes.
What if we did by mistake?
In fact, more than one actually voted 7 and 8. Anyway, I'll close the poll now. Thank you guys. And then we will go to the speaker vote as well. And Lakshmi, Priya, please feel free to move forward to the next portion of the agenda.
Okay, the next portion is the evaluation section, and I would like to call upon the general evaluator, Madhu, to guide us through this section. Madhu.
Yes. Sorry, I was trying to get around the poll. So I'll be the general evaluator today. I will call for reports from all the speech evaluators, the timer, the grammarian, and the R counter. And I will comment on the general quality of the meeting today. For a sneak peek, I'm having a lot of fun in the meeting today. Okay, so the first speech we had was from Karen, and Sujin was her evaluator. Sujin, can you give us your evaluation of Karen's speech?
Sure. So first of all, thank you, Karen, for sharing many great tips for effective virtual presentation. I think we all agree that this is very relevant topic. And then I think I learned a lot today, and then to make us stand out from our virtual presentation. So I would like to share what I loved about your speech. First, you started your speech very, you had a very strong start in your speech. So you instantly grabbed my attention with your big body movement and vocal variety. So it was very important to grab the audience attention in the beginning, so you can continue your story. Second, you have great energy that keeps your audience engaged. You use the body language and vocal variety very effectively. You zoomed in and zoomed out when you talk when you highlight some of the things that you wanna share, and also move to your body language and the hand gesture very effectively whenever needed. Third, most importantly, you just didn't tell what and how we can leverage these new tools in our virtual environment. You showed real examples. So especially, I like that you cut out your picture to make yourself, in a conference. That was very hilarious. And then I think, it's like actually, when I first saw it, like, oh, is it real? She's real there, or like, how did she do that? So like, people, felt curious, like, I wanted to know how you did it. So I think it was really great example you shared with us. And then mostly, and also you not just to share how we can use the tool, but it's more of you getting into all the details. Like you shared your screen, show the kind of how you can control the size of a presentation, and then how to change, how to move all those backgrounds. So those details are very helpful to the audience. It feel like you clearly understand what the audience needs, and then what will be helpful for them. So only one thing I would like to suggest for improvement is I saw you a few times that your eyes are looking at a corner of the screen. So maybe you are looking at a note, or maybe controlling the software to show how it works. So maybe it would be good to consider how you can minimize those kind of moments. So in summary, you had a very strong start of the speech, and then you used your body language very effectively, and then vocal variety very effectively to deliver your message. And also, most importantly, you showed how it works. So it's a very, very compelling, and visuals are very effective to your story. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sujin. It is not easy to evaluate Karen's speech, and that was a really good effort. I liked all the observations you made, and I think it was nice that you gave a summary in the end as well to highlight the points you made. The next speech was from Deepa, and Samantha was her evaluator. Samantha, can you give us your evaluation of Deepa's speech?
Yes, thank you, Toastmaster. Deepa has a meeting, so I'm going to make this quick. Thank you, Deepa, for such a great speech. I really liked your introduction. When you gave the introduction with the telephone example, you didn't assume everyone knew what the game was, and you gave a really nice walkthrough of the game that helped explain how it related to your speech. I also enjoyed your personal stories you gave with the 4 communication styles, especially one with your kids after school. These examples helped take the concept of the 4 communication styles and gave us a better idea of what they're like in the real world. I noticed your camera cut off some of your hand gestures, and so lowering the camera or bringing your hand gestures up could help, especially during that chop, chop, chop part. Finally, I think using some visuals could help, specifically when you gave us those acronyms. And thanks to Karen's speech, we now know how to do that in a really great way. And I think that could have a more lasting impact on your audience. Overall, you had a really great speech, and your speeches are always so interesting. I cannot wait to see what you do next. Thanks. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thanks, Samantha, for giving us an expedited evaluation. I'm sure she'll send out the complete detailed one. The next speech was from Jojo, where we heard about her cats. Renee, can you give us an evaluation of her speech?
Absolutely. So proud to be a cat lover and evaluating Jojo's cat speech. First of all, I love your title. As soon as you said cat's personality, I was like, oh, I'm gonna love this speech already. So there are many, many great things about your speech. First of all, it's well-researched. I did not know that they actually don't meow. What? I learned something today. They meow to just actually get attention. That's pretty cool. And the second part about your vocal variety, it actually came out very naturally especially when you talked about the Wonder Woman, that proud moment that you had. And I encourage you to do a lot more, and that was wonderfully done. And the third thing is you strategically and nicely actually use the personal story with your husband and you adopting a cat and what that's like. And I really like that personal touch for a very research intensive speech in particularly. And you added humor. I was not expecting that you're going to tie it to the theme today and have cat be related to the Fortune 500 female CEO. I agree with you. Cattonality sometimes top some of the CEOs out there. And in terms of some potential improvements, for the Zoom environment, perhaps we could get a workshop from Karen. Some of the best practices that we will learn in the very near future, Avijay will also give a workshop, is having one head above your heads in this Zoom environment. And another one is to test the audio with someone. What you could do actually in this environment is before you officially share, at the bottom left, click share sound. That's how actual videos will come out. But let's ask Karen next time, what other video best practices do we have? And the second thing is about the content itself. Towards the end of it, I would encourage you to maybe summarize all of the key learnings that you have about cats and things like that. This way you can round up the speech a lot better. So in summary, there are many, many good parts in terms of very well-researched topic, vocal variety, personal story, and tied right back to the theme, and some potential improvements, including Zoom, and potentially summarize it towards the end. And the best part is, I'm also a cat lover. Great job. I really, really love your speech, and I can't wait to hear more. Thank you, Jojo.
Thanks, Renee. After watching your workshop, I can break down every evaluation, and I could do the same with yours as well. Our next evaluator is Vicky, and she'll be evaluating Lakshmi's Icebreaker.
Thank you, Madhu. Lakshmi, thank you so much for your Icebreaker today. I find it so relatable, and I really adore and appreciate you sharing such a personal and intimate life experience with us. I think first of all, I can totally tell that you're not a novice speaker. So it's gonna make my evaluation really hard. You have such natural body language, and your beautiful smile drew me in right away and made me want to listen to what you have to say. I really like the way that you're telling your story. It's very organic and sincere, just like a friend is talking to me and sharing your happiness, your yearning for cooking and culinary arts, and your life goals. The conversation between you and your dad, between you and your husband, I can just feel how much they love you and how understanding they are. Those open communication that you have. I wish I could have with my future partner someday. I particularly appreciate and admire your vulnerability. You share with us your experience as a journey, not necessarily a destination. Something that you have, it's not something that you have figured out. And believe it or not, so many of us would resonate with that. And it's awesome that you invite us on your journey with you. I really thankful for the lesson that you gave us, that life is an opportunity to learn, and do not hesitate to make the best use out of that personality whenever it comes. And if I have to pick one thing to talk about improvement, and this is from all the Toastmasters training I received so far, I could see so many good opportunities in your speech where you could act out the interaction between you and your family or your schoolmates or co-workers. I think that would be very fun to see. And lastly, to recap, I love your natural style of storytelling. I admire your vulnerability. And I challenge you to add a little more spice into the conversation parts in your speech by acting them out. Thank you, Lakshmi, for your beautiful speech.
Thank you, Vicky. It was Lakshmi's icebreaker speech, and we really got to know her better. And I think you did the right kind of evaluation for an icebreaker speech. So thank you for that. I think there's a poll out for the best evaluator. Okay, we can move on to the next section where I get reports from the other functionaries. Can we first start with the grammarian?
Okay. So first of all, it was tough because we had all great speakers and I really learned a lot today. So thanks for sharing. So first thing I have to say, kudos to Priya. She used the word forgative twice. The first time she kicked off her introduction for the first speaker with the words. I was like, yay. So good job. And she did it again at some point in the middle of transitioning from one speaker to the other. So I like that. I would say overall, I mean, I got so caught up in all the stories. I was enjoying myself. So I don't know how you guys take notes. I would say though, Jojo, for the, talking about the cat, I wish you would use forgative at some point, especially when you're talking about the way they rub against you and all the manipulative ways, being creative. I was like, use the word. But overall, I think, everyone did a great job. So I think over time, I will get better with, taking down notes and, the analysis. So thank you. Back to you.
Thanks, Oiza. Next, can we have the R counter? I believe it was Khushbu.
Yes. Hello. So for our counter report, actually, I started a little late. So I have for less people. So I'll start with Priya as a Toastmaster. Priya had 3 R's and 1 Jojo had 3 word repetition. I think she was just trying to repeat some of the words, probably the missing of the speech. Renee 4 R's. Karen, none from you. Lakshmi, I don't think it was an icebreaker for you. It was just icebreaker for the Toastmaster Club, but I think you are a professional speaker. There were just 5 so's, none of the R's or ums. Madhu 10 R's, 6 2 you knows. Sujin 8 R's, 10 Samantha 8 Vicky 3 That's all I had for tonight. Thank you, Toastmaster, General Evaluator, sorry.
Thank you, Khushbu. As always, I will lead in the number of R's and ums. And can we have the timers report, please?
Okay. So I have for Karen is 8 minutes and 7 seconds. Deepa is 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Jojo is 7 minutes and 22 seconds. Lakshmi, I have to apologize. You were in the time frame of 4 to 6 minutes for your icebreaker, but I did not show the green color card earlier. I showed it at 5 minutes. I was supposed to have showed it at 4 minutes. I apologize for that. but you were in the time frame, 5 minutes and 36 seconds. For, I think this is the table topics. I apologize if I have your name wrong. Is it Sai or Raji? Raj, the first one.
It's both actually. Few people call me Sai and few people call me Raji. So I myself get confused when people call my name sometimes.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so 1 minute and 35 seconds. Jojo is 1 minute and 40 seconds, and Krishbu is 52 seconds. Oh, I apologize if I pronounced your name wrong as well. Osaya, is it Osaya? Osaya? 1 minute and 4. Go ahead.
Oisa.
Oisa. I'll try and remember that next time. Thank you so much. 1 minute and 40 seconds. Renee is 2 minutes. Lakshmi is 1 minute and 25 seconds. And now we're going to the evaluation. Sujin is 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Samantha is 57 seconds, very fast. Renee is 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Vicky is 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Chimak. That was a very comprehensive report. So I want to say a couple of things about the meeting today. I think it was an excellent theme, a very important theme for this group. So good job on that to start off with. We started off with the profile of the day. It was a great profile. Only comment, I think you can check your background with somebody. So I saw that the background was flipped. It was a little distracting. So next time, maybe check your background when you start off. We had 4 excellent speeches. I think the evaluators did an excellent job at evaluating those speeches as well. So I won't go too deep into on the speeches itself, but I enjoyed them thoroughly. The table topics, great job, Sarah, on the very, very insightful questions that you asked. Really made all of us think, and a couple of times I was like, maybe I should try, but I don't know. So it was really, really good. And one small comment, I think at the beginning of the table topic session, it might be useful to just mention the timeframes that people are supposed to speak for. It's especially beneficial for newcomers in the meeting. And in the same note, for first-timer guests, it's nice to give a heads up in the beginning of the meeting because they can be caught unawares otherwise. So that's just 2 minor items on the table topics, but the questions themselves were really good. And hats off to all of them who could grab the courage to answer those questions, really nice questions. The evaluations, I already gave you a few comments on the evaluations themselves. And thank you for all the functionaries who gave us the report. Back to you, Madam President.
Yes, thank you. Just one additional thing, great job, everyone. One additional thing is as we go into June, we're going to start preparing for contests, and let's change a little bit in the future where the timers should talk about whether we have any disqualification, especially for evaluation and speeches, because those who are competitive and want to compete, 5 seconds extra, sometimes you're just disqualified. So let's give the people an opportunity to practice during our club. And great job, everyone. And I would like to end our meeting with a few announcements and a quote. So first of all, as the former chairman, president, and CEO of IBM said, I learned to always take on things I have never done before. Growth and comfort do not coexist. And I hope all of us keep that in mind and continue to chase our dream that make us just a little bit uncomfortable. So now let's get into the announcement. Drum roll, please. Best speaker, Karen. Great job, Karen. That was a wonderful speech. And drum roll, please. The best table topics. Oiza, congratulations. Wonderful talk on IBM. And best evaluator, sorry, Vicky. Great job. That was a great evaluation. Super proud of you. And though we will be posting the winners of the every single club meetings on our webpage as well. There's actually, and also our newsletter. The club officers this term, the last 6 months, we have been putting together so many different workshops, and we really would love to get some feedback from you all. Did you end up attending any? Did you end up, listen to any of the recording if you couldn't end up making it, right? So this way we can actually make sure some of the topics are relevant to you. So if you could just take a minute and give us some feedback, even just let us know, hey, that Friday 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific time really does not work for me, but I would really like to see these topics being talked about. That we will be extremely grateful for that. And in terms of those of you who are just joining us, here's all of our social media channels. Feel free to find us anywhere and everywhere you'd like. And Abhijit just told me today that we are officially President's Distinguished. So that's one of the highest honor that you can possibly be for a club. Congratulations to everyone. We made this award in 4 months' time since our inauguration. It's unheard of. So congratulations. And for those of you who are part of the officers team, you guys already know or on a Slack, during our district officer, we actually officially won the best web page PR award and the best newsletter award as well. So we won a little over $200 of credits that we get to buy lots of Toastmasters gears for us and also our future hangouts as well. So congratulations. And also just letting you know that Abhijit and I also got voted by the members, the VP clubs and district officers to be your Division C director and also club growth director. That means whatever you guys want to see implemented in next year, let us know and we're gonna be there for you all. And especially on top of that, Abhijit and I will both continue to stay in our current role just to ensure our experience is good. And we have already identified people that we want to nurture to become the president and VP of next term. So for those of you who are interested in seeing how the sausage is being done behind the scene, come reach out to us. And our VP PR, Khushbu, has put together some great flyers. We'll get them up onto the webpage sometime soon. So our next meeting, June 9th, the topic is mental health to reflect on the month of May. And then Abhijit will actually do a Zoom presence workshop, followed by one of our feature workshop, When Your Face and Body Do the Talking. Evelyn Lee is such an amazing speaker, award-winning, and she will really share with us how to most effectively use gestures so it doesn't sound fake and it can actually add punch to what you are speaking and talking about. And then due to some of the people in the audience also popular demand want to get back to the workforce or look for a different job, now everything's opened up, we'll do a quick workshop on how to reposition yourself for workforce, and followed by, this is going to be one of my favorite topics, self-awareness theme. Look at that. Oh, we have a cat theme today. This is great. And I really, really enjoyed this picture of having self-awareness is extremely important to continue to be the leader that we want. And the month of June will, last but not least, workshop where Khushbu and I will actually do a quick workshop on improve your social presence. And we'll specifically go into LinkedIn, Twitter, Clubhouse, and a couple other ones. So month of June, lots of greatness coming your way. And for those of you who are guests, first time joining us, if you're shy and don't want to come off mute, please submit your feedback into this link. But otherwise, we will love to hear from you. Let me stop sharing so I can see you guys. And for those of you who are not guests and would love to drop off, the meeting is adjourned. Let's see, any of the guests are still on here? No?
So Bhavna here.
Hi.
Yeah, hi. I really enjoyed it. This was my first time. But to see everybody so confidently speaking, it's really nice to see that. I hope to do that someday, but it was really nice. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it. Yep.
Thank you. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Great job, everyone. I'm going